Brothers and sisters, God bless you. Hope you're having a great day. Life is funny, ain't it? I mean, it changes so quickly. We learn new things as we age. And I know the expression that resonates with so many of us that are older, whatever that means, it's all relative. But I've just turned 50 this year. It's 2026. I just turned 50 in June. And the saying that youth is wasted on the young, because when we're young we sometimes think we're going to live forever, and we don't really see the ramifications or the repercussions of our actions. For me, for a while I was a drinker, and I drank almost every day since I was 19. Before that, I liked to escape into smoking cannabis and other substances, tobacco, a little caffeine, but really I got hooked in on numbing myself with alcohol when I was about 19. I started drinking Mickey's 22 ounces. I think they're called the Hornet. Really cheap too, like 89 cents for a 22 ounce of malt liquor that was about 7 something percent alcohol. And I could, get a really good buzz on. And the more you drink, the more the tolerance is. And then you start doing it as a reward every day. Fast forward, I knew it was a problem. So instead of quitting or addressing it, I went ahead and decided I was going to be a connoisseur, because a friend told me that I needed to stop drinking crappy beer and start drinking high quality beer, craft beer, if you will. And I built my life around that whole lie. I'll call it a lie, because really it was killing me slowly. And I understand that people say, as I like to do it and it's my choice. That's fine. Do what you want to do what makes you happy. There's a lot of community built around it too, and that's enablement. But some people will say it's a culture. It is. I mean, and I was fooling myself, because I was killing myself. And eventually, I'm not going to say that drinking caused cancer for me, but it certainly didn't fight cancer for me. And all the studies out there show that it's one of the most deadly and widely acceptable drugs that we have in the world today. And there's so much advertising for it. There's so much social acceptance around all major sporting events, commercials all the time. It's just what everybody does in the culture. And they tried to ban it during the Prohibition years, and people don't want to quit. So it eventually got brought back, and it's part of our culture. It's been part of our culture as humans for several thousand years, before written language and history. But, when you hit a wall in your life, you have two choices. You can either try to keep banging your head against that wall and trying to push through that wall and damaging yourself, or you can say, okay, I get the message, I'm quitting. I've seen so many friends of mine die or get some kind of a terrible diagnosis because of their lifestyle habits. And I think drinking alcohol is one of the best ways to destroy yourself quickly, especially if you're a regular drinker. Most people that drink just once in a blue moon, maybe like once a month or something, they don't seem to really enjoy it, so they don't consume much. But the more you consume, the more it becomes a habit. And I remember the first time I tried to drink a beer, some kind of a light beer, Busch Light or something like that, and I got like wasted on like a half a can of it. I think I was like 16 years old, and I hated it, but I drank it because I wanted to fit in, because it was a thing to do. Rebellion. It's about social acceptance, peer pressure, all these things, And I kept doing it because it became a way to fit in, and then to numb, and then couldn't live without that nightcap every day. I'm gonna turn this stove off before I burn my meal. Anyways, like I said, this is an impromptu video. So I worked in the alcohol industry, the craft beer industry. I wasn't a hard alcohol drinker. I just drank beer mostly. And I was really into it. When I get into something, I go full on, and I wanted to share everything I knew about it. I became very passionate about it. So I became a beer blogger. I had a lot of connections, a big community of people. I knew a lot of the people in the local beer scene here in my city, and it's a big beer town. I mean, this is Beervana. They call it Beervana because it's the most breweries per capita of any city in America, or was when I was in it. And I was destroying myself, and it when I would go through problems, I would drink to feel better or to drown it out. When I was happy, I drank to celebrate. There was always a reason to drink. And if you work in the beer industry, you own a bar and you drink, man, that's dangerous because you're going to be drinking all the time. And even if you quit for a few days, you're still going to come back. Drinking just a little bit is super dangerous also. And I've seen lots of friends of mine from not long ago. I've been completely without drink since 2018. So this has been like 8 years for me. And before that, it was a few years. But I went on a trip to visit family in Italy. It started with a couple drinks. And before I knew it, I thought I could handle it. And mixing it with the medications for my cancer and epilepsy, it was a bad move. But even if I wasn't on medications, drinking was a bad move. And no one could have told me otherwise because I had this attitude where I'm not in this for a long time. I'm in this for a good time. And I like to do this. And if I want to do this a little bit, I'll do it. It wasn't just a little bit, but it was a lot of it. And anyways, when I quit and I stepped away for it from a while, first when I first quit, I felt like I had lost a part of myself because my identity was wrapped up in drinking alcohol. And that was tough because when you quit, people are going to say, "What's wrong with you?" Or if a woman quits, they'll say, "Are you pregnant?" Or "Why are you quitting? Like, why don't you just drink?" Because drinkers always want enablers so that they can feel justified in what they're doing. Even if they're not pushy, birds of a feather flock together, right? That's what they say. So for me, I've seen a lot of friends that I no longer see. A lot has changed since 2020 and the whole pandemic happened. A lot of things has changed. The world is divided in many ways. The world has changed so fast, so much. And I lost, I don't say I lost, but I parted ways with some friends and I haven't talked to them in a while. And let's face it, when you're not drinking and you're around people that drink, it's not a good thing. You don't want to be around drunk people or buzzed people. So when I stepped away from alcohol, just like when I stepped away from cigarettes and tobacco, I don't want to be around that secondhand smoke. I don't want to be around that social lubricant that makes people act silly. You know, you can have a good time without it, and like some people just have to incorporate it in everything they do, like I mentioned earlier. So I realize how dangerous drinking is. Like, easy to say now, and when you change, a lot of times people are going to say you're a hypocrite, and they're going to try to put you down because you don't want to do it anymore. And my point of sharing this is not to put anybody down. I still have friends that drink. I just don't hang out with them much because that's something I don't have much tolerance for, being around someone who's buzzed or someone that needs to go hang out at a bar. In fact, for a while after I'd quit drinking, I still worked part-time at my friend's pub, and I had friends there and a lot of people I loved there. But I realized after a while, the common thing that bound everyone together wasn't, the sports on the TV or the events that we did at the bar. It was the alcohol. It was I don't want to call it addiction, but it is. It's a dependency. It's needing to have your identity wrapped up in the drink. Now, the people running the bar, they're making money off of it, and a lot of times they're getting high off their own supply, so they're consuming. And, of course, would you be sober and selling alcohol? That would be kind of suspect, right? But promoting it, you used to get so much free alcohol, you used to get so many free drinks, and it seemed like a good deal, but it left me broken, and it took all the money I had from me. It cost me my health. It cost me so many good things in my life, memories. I'm just blessed that I never got into an accident or was even more seriously injured, or my life wasn't more seriously damaged because of it. And all I can say is no matter what you think about um, people who drink, and I'm not here to judge, the people who like to drink like other people to drink with them. And maybe you need a new crowd to hang out with. I've just seen some people in the industry that were like titans in the industry. And some of them knew that it was a problem and they cut back. You know, they got more into health and other things. But no amount of alcohol is safe. None. Like a little bit, even being a very casual drinker, it has no benefits at all. And as you age, as we age, it becomes harder and harder on our body. You know, as we get around 35 years old and older, we lose about 1% of our muscle mass every year. We lose our hormones out of balance every year, like for men and women too. Testosterone drops. Women go through menopause and the body starts to break down. So drinking while you're aging is a very deadly thing, I believe, because I've seen so many of my friends who are just beer drinkers die. They've died. And it wasn't just a quick, like, boom. Some of them it was like a heart attack, a stroke, a cancer diagnosis. And I can't directly correlate this to it, but I know in my heart that without that alcohol, these people would have had a better life. And they could have had other things in their life instead of alcohol to bring them joy, to bring them community. So what's the thing in your life that you could have in your life besides alcohol as your focus? And in this, I'm talking to the people that are connoisseurs. I used to call myself a connoisseur because I was a professional drinker, basically. I'm not even professional because I wasn't getting paid a lot of the time to do it. I was working for it. I was living for it in some capacity. So this isn't a scare video. This isn't Scared Straight with Angelo. This is just basically me giving a testimony that alcohol is one of the worst things I've ever done in my life. And if I could go back and change that, I would. I believe that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. I believe that we should honor and cherish our body, and everything we do to our body should be a conscious decision for health, healing, wholeness, vibrancy, and life. Alcohol is death. Alcohol is toxin. It's a neuro and gut toxin. It puts so much stress on so many of our organs, especially our liver and our kidneys and our bladder and our pancreas and our hormones and our brain. And as a brain cancer survivor, I'm not looking to go back and do something different now. I'm accepting where I am in my life, and I'm very grateful for my life. And I know that we're all going to die one day. But I know that suffering to the capacity that alcohol causes us to suffer is not a wise decision. And I want to encourage you. Maybe you're feeling on the fence about it and you want to quit and you don't know how, or you've been having bad hangovers that keep getting worse as you get older. I remember when I was in my 20s, I could drink and get up the next day and be fine. In my 30s, it got a little worse. 40s, I quit by then. I couldn't handle it. I had a few beers in my 40s and I'm like, I can't go there anymore because it's really ripping me up. So you don't realize how time ages you sometimes because it's so incremental. But I want to encourage you today to quit drinking. If you are a drinker, zero tolerance for drinking. It's the worst thing you can do for your body. It's the worst poison. It's like right up there. I heard a study that said it's in the same category of toxicity as asbestos and taking hard drugs as well. And it's so accepted that people don't even bat an eye. So today, I'm going to pray for you that you find the courage to quit. If you're not a spiritual person and you don't have a higher power, I'm sorry. I wish you would. I wish you would put your faith in God. But by the same token, I know that you'll be happier in the long run if you focus on your health rather than your destruction. You know, we have a choice. There's two wolves, the good wolf and the bad wolf, and whichever one we feed grows. So choose a good thing instead of a bad. I love you, and God bless you. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it may have inspired at least one person. If it has, awesome. God bless you. Peace.